Did you know that between 2017 and 2022, 140,000 farms in the United States stopped operating? That is more than 76 farms per day. And if we did not buy our family farm, it was going to become part of those statistics and probably become a subdivision. 76 farms per day may seem like an insanely high number, and it is. And it's also a very sad number. And I'm beyond grateful that we had the opportunity to purchase our family farm and keep it from being part of those statistics and to keep it from being most likely a subdivision or a bunch of houses on a nice set of acreage. My name is Nathan, and I'm super thankful that you have joined us and that you're following along on our journey to revitalize and keep this farm operational as a family farm. I encourage you to like and subscribe. I promise I won't ask again in the rest of the video. For this video, I'm going to document everything that I had planned to get done this weekend. That involves going through a row of blueberries and cutting out all the trees and putting some stump killer on it, hopefully pruning some blueberries, pulling out fence posts that got taken down, hopefully burning those, weather permitting, and various other tasks. It's going to be an action-packed weekend, and I just kind of want to capture what I'm doing on a weekend as you guys are following along. First up this weekend is this row of blueberry bushes behind me. If you look down it, there are trees growing up in between the crown of the bushes, and I did not remove those last year. I did all the other rows, but for whatever reason, I didn't do this one, and I got to get them out. So I'm going to use my handy dandy pruning shears and my awesome battery-powered hand trimmer, get them out, put some of the stump killer on it, and haul them to the truck and get them piled up so I can burn them and not have them laying out here. So this is a pretty good representation of what I'm talking about. This tree is growing in the crown, so I'm going to cut it nice and low. And then, right when it is fresh, I'm going to take some of our stump killer, spread the stump killer on it. And there's some other branches and other parts of this tree coming up, so I'll do the same thing just to ensure we're giving ourselves the best shot of getting rid of this tree once and for all, or at least as close to once and for all as we can. And you can see over here, you can see between the bushes, there's some sassafras over here. So I'll also cut that. And then while I'm out here, any of these branches that are be hanging into the row that the tractor is going to hit, I'll prune those out too. This stuff works pretty well. A lot of these trees, it's not completely killing it because I'm not doing it in the fall. I'll probably have to come back and hit these again because the trees really aren't sucking nutrients down into it in preparation for winter like they are in the fall. So the best time to actually do this is in the fall. But for whatever reason, I missed this, and I'm going to get it. Well, that took a heck of a lot longer than what I thought it was going to take. About an hour and a half to do that row. So these stumps, or the base of the tree, they're pretty thick. And when we rent a flail chopper, I don't want these out there because it could injure the blades on the flail chopper. So I'm going to take them up to the fire pit and unload them to get them burnt. But while I was out there, I actually found my next project. There is a gopher hole or a groundhog hole, den, whatever, and it put sand everywhere. And the tractor's not going to be able to ride over it. It looks nasty. And this is my last weekend with the farm truck. My father-in-law is going to be back in town. So I'm going to get this dropped off, and let's shovel up that groundhog dirt before it's too late. And we're moving the truck up. Moving the truck up. I like that. All right, here we go. All right, here's what I'm thinking. For the next shot, I'm gonna put you up there. Boom, how's that? There's this, I'm not complaining. I'm sharing, I told you I'm documenting this journey. It's helping me stay sane, it's keeping me invested, but there is so much stuff to do. It feels like it's never ending. As I drove around to drop off the maples, I had to pick up the shovel, I had to pick up the tarp, saw a bunch of stuff that was laying around, started picking up some trash, and it's like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Like everywhere I look, there's something else I need to take care of or do, and it just feels like I can never get momentum. But I'm not beating myself up too much because I'm at least making progress. I'm doing this by myself for the most part. My son, he's a little too young to help out hardcore. My wife, she's got full-time corporate position. She's in school. She's very busy also, right? So she can't help out very much out here. I have a nephew who's just about old enough to help out, but he's got his own stuff going on. And as I touched on before, we're on a shoestring budget. So it's not like I can go hire an employee. So it's just me for the most part, on top of everything else I got going on. And yeah, so let's get this mound of dirt taken care of. And I think I'm gonna call that it for the night, unless I decide to burn some of those unless I decide to burn some of those maples. But, ooh, excuse me, for dinner, there's a new butcher in town, so we picked up some Delmonicos from them. We're making some sticky rice and some of our favorite hot sauce, so it's gonna be a good dinner. We'll definitely work up an appetite. So let's knock this out. Whoa. I can tell you this right now. Starting cardio again on Monday. I used to run a ton, 30 plus miles a week. It's been a couple years. Definitely putting it on in my midsection again. I don't have the stamina that I used to, and this just kicked my butt. Where before, it wouldn't even faze me, just lung-wise, right? So, Monday, starting running again. Holy crap, I missed you. I needed a good reason to get back into it, and I just gave myself one. So, pretty much got that taken care of. There's this mound of dirt. We have a low spot in one of the lanes. I'm gonna go put this in it. I know that it's probably gonna wash away and then I'm doing it for nothing, but this low spot it gets deeper and deeper every year that we don't put anything in it. So I'll try some gravel, or I'll try this dirt, and then eventually maybe try some gravel. But outside of that for tonight, or today, mission accomplished, a lot of good stuff done. Good 4 hours out here so far. All right, let's get this dropped off. It didn't really turn out quite how I pictured it, but it was pretty darn close. Kind of a waste of time. Now I got a huge mound of dirt in the middle, and see if I can smooth it out. Also, Got the same car that keeps going past nice and slow. Saw him earlier today too when I was out in the field, and they're driving past one of our entrances to the farm. Actually, the 100-year-old entrance that we opened up, and that's in a different video, but we still have it blocked off by this massive tree. I mean, it's like this big around laying on its side, and I'm wondering if he's looking at that, or if he's looking at the timber on the original barn that was on this farm over there, because a lot of people come up from a state that I won't mention, and they look for barn beams and stuff like that. So I'm going to go check on that, make sure there's nothing there, and then we're going to call it a night. See you in the morning. What an absolutely beautiful but chilly morning it is today. Oh man, I am ready to go. It is 10 a.m. We had a great evening last night. I mentioned that we bought some steaks from a new butcher and they did not disappoint. Perfectly grilled, and we have enough left over to have some for lunch, so I'm pumped about that. On the docket for today, a lot of fun stuff. I'm going to move some risers that I'm about to pull up to. Those are sprinkler tubes that were in the ground. We have some of those left over. Put them away inside of a barn out of sight. Pick up some roofing material that we have left over laying on the ground. Do some general cleanup essentially right around a barn that we're going to rebuild later this year. And then once it's a little bit later in the early afternoon, we'll get the chainsaw ready and pull a tree off one of the barns that is near the driveway that we reopened for the most part. So it's going to be a fun day. Let's get to it. Ooh. It is not just a little chilly. It is very chilly. The wind is just bitterly cold. So these risers, we call them risers. This spike here goes into a tube coming out of the ground, and it opens the ball valve to let the water come up to the sprinkler head. So originally, we had a lot of acres of blueberries, and every single one of these fields had irrigation in it. So these are left over, or taken out of the fields that my parents decided they were just going to completely let go when they stopped farming. So I'm keeping them. It's not that they're entirely expensive, but I already will have irrigation installed, overhead irrigation installed, depending on what crop I put in the field, if that makes sense. Some crops we're going to have trickle irrigation. Some crops like blueberries will work with overhead. Definitely have a patch of wildflowers that overhead irrigation will come in handy for. So overall, get these moved, get them in a barn, because we want every part of this farm to be aesthetically pleasing as possible, and having junk lying around, doesn't help with that. So let's get these loaded up, and the barn I'm going to put them in actually had a door fall off of it, and while I'm over there, I'll scope out if we need new hinges or if I need to rebuild the barn, and go from there. So way back in the day, believe it or not, behind me, this barn was what we refer to as our first packing shed. And that's where they would take the freshly harvested blueberries and they would put them into the small containers that you'll find at the store. There's actually electricity out here, running water. I'm talking way back in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. This white barn, I'm not entirely sure what it was used for, but we're definitely going to keep it for some future endeavors that we have planned. On the sides of it, the windows or arms, the walls open up, and I have a really cool idea of what we want to keep this as. This door came off here. Looks like these hinges are pretty solid, but it looks like the wood going into the door, not so much. So I'm gonna try to take a look at that today, at least get it figured out, what I need to do to get it back hung up on there. Yeah, let's get these put away in the barn. Over the chill. So gotta, dude, when we were clearing out the woods, do a ton of dirty cutting, and it just chews through these blades. Now the blades are still amazing. I believe I touched on them in a previous video. I get them from a local supply store. They're made in Australia, and they just cut through everything. But man, the abuse that we're putting them through with this nasty pine, rotten pine, you know, it just, they work hard and they just don't last that long. So I have plenty of spares. Plenty of spares. And I think I might get lucky that this is pretty close to being set up. Back it up just a little bit. So the biggest thing, what I'm getting this ready for is there are two old trees that have fallen or are leaning on a barn that I'm about to go to. I want as fresh of a blade as possible, and hopefully everything goes well. You'll see how sketchy it's going to be in a minute. I'm by myself, and I'm going to hook a ladder up to the side of the barn, try to throw a rope around the tree, and then pull it off. And then cut up the tree, obviously. So let's get this forward a little bit. Get some tension on that chain, or the bar. Let's do a little bit more. Tighten the big nut. Perfection. Love, 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 love using chainsaws. Ooh, good on gas. Love cutting stuff up. Love beautifying the woods. Part of the big goal here, as I've talked about, is to make this place as aesthetically pleasing as possible. And I promise you, we made some amazing progress over the winter. try to figure out what is the best method here. And got this one leaning up against it. I think if I just put a rope, I'm going to cut that tree right there, put a rope around it, pull down. Hopefully that is enough. And then I did not realize all the junk. Then if I put a rope around that one, tow it with the truck, hopefully that will that'll work. Let's see if we can get this started. Ooh, rough. Let's see if it's still following me around. Okay. Should have probably warmed the chainsaw before coming. All right, now I wonder if I, by myself, am strong enough to get this. All right, you got that one. And then, that is gnarly. That is one root for the grapevine right there. That is the mother of the grapevine, or the base of it, whatever you want to call it. Man, that looks like all pricker shit. Okay, so let's get that chopped up so I can get back there and throw the rope over. Let's make sure I got a good view here. Oh, shoot. Oh man, this is going to be much larger of a project than I anticipated. Especially with it being way too windy to burn. I'm just gonna have an eyesore of a pile until I can burn, but I guess that eyesore is probably better than this. All right, so if I go up and over, don't want to pull on this too hard, have it fall on me. Okay. Let's do. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is all wild grapes. My dad said when they first, or not when they first, but when he can remember, just wild grapes all over the place. Okay, definitely messed up that part. So let's try the rope. Need it to go over far enough to be able to put it through the loop. Let's see if I can do this. First try, come on. Technically that was first try, but I don't like where it landed. There we go. There we go. All right, let's see if we can do this without using a truck. Dang it, that's not where I wanted it. Yeah, that is not gonna budge with me doing it. And you can tell this, it's just shredded up on the roof. Let's go get my dad's truck, see if they'll have enough oomph to pull it out. All right, got my dad's truck. It's a little S10. Let's see if I can, he's got a little hitch on it. Let's see if that will give me enough oomph to pull this down. I'm gonna try. I pulled the other one down by hand. I don't think this one's gonna work though. No, I don't think so. I did not feel comfortable by myself, so thank you.
Oh, you're fine. I'm happy to support.
Did it?
You did it. That poor Bruce.
So I got it done? Did it? Now the crappy part of cleaning it up. Let's get this done. So this has turned into a much larger part of the day than what I anticipated. The vines grew up between the panels of the barn, splitting it. So when I was pulling some down, I completely ripped the panel off. This wood is rotten. I don't even know if I got enough to... dang it. Oof. Yeah, there's not even enough meat up there to secure it. So I have to secure it down here as best as I can. I guess it was about right there based on how the wood split. Let's see if I can at least get one right here on this beam. Hopefully at least hold it in place. There. That was at least enough to go through there. Oh, shoot. Like this. Okay. Stop messing around. Probably go get some screws. I'm gonna try this one just for shits and giggles. It's cool old wood, that's for sure. It's not even close. Okay. Pause. Go get the right stuff. And attempt number 3. Come on. There we go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Oh, shoot. All right. Now we're cooking with butter, I guess. Or whatever the actual saying is. Okay. Now, that doesn't fix the roof, but it at least takes care of that. Let's see what we got up here. Doesn't seem very safe. Oh, yuck. Okay. Come on. up being so bad. Okay, we'll have to see my brother-in-law, who would be willing to come out and patch that up instead of calling a contractor, but I'm probably not going to want to let that go too long without fixing it. Okay, so we got massive vines here. Let's see if I can just at least clean up this section. Call it good over here today. I feel like my luck is running out over here for some reason with all the weird stuff that's happened, but let's get it done. It sucks, it's just a little too windy to burn this stuff. Just a little too windy. So what I think I'm gonna do is Tuesday, the forecast looks like it's gonna be 9-mile-per-hour wind. My dad has Tuesdays off from work. I'm gonna see if I can convince him to come burn this for me for a little bit of money and maybe a nice cerveza or two. But it is absolutely gorgeous out. Spent enough time over there by that barn for what I feel like I want to do today. I'm gonna get this unloaded. I'll take care of an errand or two. And then I'm gonna go prune for a little while. Take my hat off and let some of this beautiful sunshine hit my arms and face. Up here, a lot of people get seasonal depression because the sun's not out very much. And me just bask in it today. It's beautiful. It's about 33 degrees, so it's just above freezing. But the sun is making it where I don't have long underwear or anything on. I can totally deal with it. Probably don't really need the hat right now either, but in the shade, it's not so warm.